Have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on inside a simple kid's story? It's kind of wild, but it turns out some of the most basic tales are, well, they're actually masterclasses in educational psychology. So let's dive in and uncover the surprisingly brilliant science hidden in a story about a man, his caps, and some very cheeky monkeys.
So it all comes down to this big question, right? How do you actually teach a kid a new language? Is it really just about flashcards and repeating words over and over again? Or is there something, deeper going on, something more intuitive? We're going to explore a method today that shows learning is so much more than just memorizing stuff. All right, so our whole case study for this comes from one short chapter in a children's textbook. It's a classic story, you've probably heard it before, about a cap seller who has a little run-in with a troop of monkeys. But as you're about to see, this simple story is the anchor for a brilliant, really multi-layered lesson. So it starts off simply enough. We meet our main character, a cap seller, and he's got his whole inventory in a basket right on his head. The language is super direct, it's clear, and it sets the scene just perfectly.
And here we go. Here's our problem. While the cap seller is taking a nap, a bunch of monkeys see their chance. They sneak down from the tree and boom, just like that, they grab all the caps. Simple as that. The conflict has been introduced.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. A pattern starts to emerge. The cap seller, he's frustrated, so he shakes his fist, and the monkeys copy him. Then he scratches his head, totally confused, and they copy that too. He's starting to notice something very, very specific about their behavior.
And this sentence right here, this is the key to the whole thing, the entire psychological principle. The monkeys also did the same. That's not just a plot point, you guys. It's a direct lesson in one of the most fundamental ways we all learn, through imitation. And for the cap seller, this realization is the big light bulb moment that's going to lead him to the solution.
Okay, so the story has been told, but this is where the real lesson kicks in. It's about to build from just understanding the story to something way more complex. Critical reasoning.
And this is so clever. The book doesn't just ask, so what happened next? Nope, it asks why. A question like this forces the child to move past just remembering the plot and start thinking about motivation, cause, and effect. They have to put themselves in the cap seller's shoes and analyze the monkey's behavior based on that pattern of imitation they just saw.
And then the lesson goes even further. It asks the child to put all the events back in the right order. Now, this isn't just a memory game, right? It's really an exercise in logical construction. It reinforces the idea that stories have a structure. There's a problem, a reaction, a solution, and then, finally, a resolution.
Okay, so we've covered the story and the logic, but what about the actual, nuts and bolts of the language itself? This is where the lesson makes a really fascinating pivot. We're shifting from the big picture of the story down to the smallest units of language, the sounds. Okay, check this out. The lesson takes key words from the story, like cap and monkey, and groups them with other words that start with the exact same sound. So you get cap, cat, coat, and monkey, mango, mouse. This is absolutely not random. It's a direct exercise in what's called phonemic awareness, that crucial ability to hear and pick out the individual sounds that make up our words.
Then it drills down another level. The lesson teaches syllables by literally breaking words into their parts. And get this, the instruction for the kids is to clap for each part. So monkey is clap, clap. Basket is clap, clap. This is genius. It takes a totally abstract idea like a syllable and makes it a physical, tangible experience that you can actually feel.
So, the really crucial point here is that the learning is all embedded. This super simple little story about a cat isn't just a story, it's actually a highly structured phonics drill focusing on the at sound family: cat, fat, mat, sat. It's practice cleverly disguised as a fun little narrative.
And now for the final piece of this incredible puzzle. The lesson has built this amazing foundation of story, logic, and phonics. So what's next? Well, now it's time to make it all physical, to connect the words on the page to actual actions in the real world.
So here we've got a simple poem about butterflies. It's rhythmic, it's repetitive, which is awesome for memory. But the real magic here isn't just in the words themselves. It's in what the lesson asks the children to do with them. Just like we saw with the syllables, the poem is paired with a physical action, clapping. But it goes even further than that. The teacher is actually told to lead the kids in actions for up, down, in, and out. This is kinesthetic learning, And it creates this incredibly powerful link between a word and a physical movement, embedding it way deeper in the brain.
And this is the culmination of it all. The lesson moves right into direct commands. Catch the ball. Hide under a table. There's no translation needed. The meaning of the English words is learned directly through the action itself. Language stops being an abstract concept and becomes a functional tool for actually interacting with the world. So cool!
So let's pull all of these threads together. What does this one seemingly simple chapter actually show us about how we learn? Well, it reveals this beautifully sophisticated, holistic model of teaching.
The official term for what we've just been looking at is integrated learning. Basically, nothing is taught in a vacuum. The story isn't just a story, it's a vehicle for teaching logic. The words aren't just words, they're sounds, they're syllables, they're triggers for action. Every single piece reinforces every other piece. It's a web.
This slide really lays out the entire toolkit that's at play here. You've got the narrative to make it stick in your memory, you've got reasoning to make it challenging, you've got phonics to build the technical skill, kinesthetics to make it physical, and the lesson even goes into creativity, asking kids to draw and act out the story. I mean, it is a full spectrum approach to education.
So I guess I'll just leave you with this thought. As adults, we tend to separate our learning into these rigid little boxes. We read a book, we watch a video, we take a class. But what if we took a lesson from the cap seller and those monkeys? What could we achieve if we learned new skills not just by reading about them, but by doing, by connecting, and by playing? It's a pretty powerful idea, isn't it? All hidden inside one simple children's story.